Mastering Erase featuring GenSwap is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone. So I'm excited to announce we have a new feature in Luminar Neo, and that's GenSwap. All right, so first of all, let me get to this. What is GenSwap? All right. Well, GenSwap it's going to help us effortlessly replace specific objects in your photos with the AI-generated visuals that seamlessly integrates with the rest of your image. All right, so what does that mean? All right, well, let's just dive into a few of the best practice guidelines to achieve exceptional results. So think of it this way. What I want to do is I want to get rid of that boat, but I need to replace it with something. So I'm going to mask a larger area than we need. And so this will give AI more content to work with. Then I have to make sure that if there's shadows or if there's like a casting, in this case here, a reflection, make sure all of that's captured. Then once I hit generate, boom, look at that. It's going to seamlessly replace that with, I told it, water. All right. So now on the off chance that you get an inappropriate content error, make sure you're confident there's no violation of our terms and conditions, and then try to change the mask or the prompt again. All right. Now, yes, what that's going to deal with is, imagine if I'll use our buddy Dale. Dale's in a bathing suit, and for whatever reason, I decide I want to change his bathing suit, the pants, to a different color, and it could conceive that as inappropriate. That's when you'll get that message popping up. If I know that there's no problem with it, I'll just hit regenerate and go from there. All right. So now, here are the rules. Avoid using verbs like change, erase, remove, add, or create. And when you do, I noticed this is what you end up with. Words. So what I'm trying to replace here ends up with words in the middle of it. All right. Describe what you want to get in detail. Use nouns or adjective plus a noun in the prompt. All right. Now let's see GenErase in action. I'm going to use this image here that my buddy Jacob and myself, and Mark was with us too. We took this in Scotland. All right. So I did do a crop. So here's the original. Here's the crop. And actually, let me show you. This is what we're going to try to turn it into. Look at this. Look how beautiful. We have the rocks going up into the castle. So I'm going to come over here, and it's under catalog. Here's GenErase, GenSwap. I'm going to click on GenSwap. Now, once it comes up, this is what I need to do. I need to come over here and select the area that I want to swap out. Now, for the life of me, I couldn't get rid of these signs. So let's see what it does here. Now I'm going to over select some of the areas. Now we need to be creative. All right. I'm going to start out with a basic prompt. All right. Notice over here it says 256. Let me zoom in for you. That right there is the number of characters we could use. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type in dark rocks on a cliff leading to a castle. All right, let's see what that does. So I'm going to hit swap. And yes, it's going to take a while because it's analyzing the image and it's trying to predict, based on the image itself, what rock should be in there. Now, I did put on a cliff. I tried earlier a ridge. It came out okay. A hill was actually just like a regular hill. It didn't give me that dramatic look. I also came up with different ways, which we'll try in this here, on using different words with the sentence, like dark rocks. I put, dark rocks on the cliff. Now look, this I really don't like it that much. So I could just hit swap again. Well, let's do it. And let's see what happens. Because it's already selected, it's going to take that into consideration and re-swap it again. If I wanted to swap, let's say I love the effect, I love what it did, but I want to do something else, then that's where we come down here. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. Right here, reset selection. That's when you'll reset the selection because that selection's already good. Then you'd reselect another selection and then hit swap. This way, it doesn't regenerate what you already did. All right? So let's give it a chance. Okay, same results. So let's go to plan B. And I got a little more graphic. I said, dark rocks with green patches of moss on a cliff leading to a Scottish medieval castle. Now, before I do all of this, I'm going to hit undo. And I'm going to hit undo again. Now we're back to the original. All right, now if I hit undo one more time, now let me get rid of that. There we go. Now I'm right back to the very beginning. All right, so the undos and the redos here helps you with that. And then don't forget, if you always click on the information icon here, it actually will tell you about generative swap, and it'll give you a link to the user manual. All right, so that's what we did here. Now I'm going to come back and reselect this again. All right, and this time I am going to be a little bit more detailed. Dark rocks with green patches of moss on a cliff leading to a Scottish castle. Now let me think. By the way, I wrote down some stuff just so I remember to show you guys what I actually wrote. Yep, so, so dark rocks, green patches of moss on a cliff leading to a Scottish medieval castle. Let's see what happens when I hit swap. Now, another way I did this was dark rocks on a cliff leading to a castle. Then I went back and I added just a different prompt, add green moss on the rocks leading to a medieval castle. And I just kept building it up, building it up, building it up. And you saw the results that I got. So these are one of those trial and errors. And it's not just with our AI, it's with any of the AI. It's a new way of us thinking, a new way of us getting our footing into this new realm. All right, now look what it did here. It gave me, I'm not really too happy with that. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to hit refresh again. Dark rocks. I'm going to get rid of the green moss on a cliff leading to a Scottish medieval castle. All right, so you can see where I'm heading with this. What I didn't want to do is come out and make it look perfect right off the bat, because then when you try it at home, you're going to go, oh yeah, it worked for Vanelli, but didn't do what I wanted to do for me. So I want to make sure you're seeing my thought process all the way through. And how I started, like first it was just, I think I put dark rocks on the cliff. Then I didn't like the results, so I put dark rocks on the cliff leading to a castle. Then it was a Scottish medieval castle. And then I went and different things, tweaked it from there. So let's see what this does for us. We'll give it a second. And what I do want to figure out is if what I'm doing right now, so the generation that we're doing right now after the first prompt, if I leave it selected and a different prompt, does it totally change it? And that's something we're going to experiment with. All right, so, can't connect to the server. One moment, that was on my end. Let's try it again. And thank you for doing that. Not that Neo did this on purpose for me, but that's one thing I forgot to mention. With all the generative stuff, we do have to have internet connection. So you do have to have internet connection. What's the quality of the internet? Well, it needs to go up to our servers, puts that piece up there, does what it needs to do, does all the calculations, then it comes back and it takes care of it. So it's not like you need the highest of highest speeds, but we do need a good internet connection. All right, so look what it did. So it did this. Now I want to add. So I did this. Now let's add small, dark moss on the rocks leading to the castle. And let's see what that does. All right. So it's building it up, building it up, building it up. And the goal now is to see, and what I could have done if I wanted to, which I should have, is do the small rocks or small dark moss on rocks and just patched it in. You know what I'm saying? So I could have just put it into pieces and not keep the entire selection the way it did. Once again, it's an experimental phase. It's something you need to work on and practice with it over and over. And like I said, you'll get to the point to where it'll start looking really, really good. All right. So here's what it came up with. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this, but that's okay. I'm going to save it just for now. And this is where I would spend more time. And I would want it to be more like this, cropping it out. But where does it save it? Well, it puts it right over here into the generative creation folder. If you don't like it let me get out of the way. If you don't like it in the generative creation folder, it's real simple. Just drag it. And I'm going to drop it. Let's see, where do I have it? It's under, travel. Here's on the road traveling. There it is, Iceland. And if I don't like it in this area here, I'll just drag and drop it into my Iceland complete. In fact, let's see, these are the other ones. Oh yeah, look at that one. Ooh, and I love that one too. All right, it's between these two. I'm going to go with, let's go with this one. So I can just drag it, drop it to my completes folder, and there it is. All right. Now it's in my, here's the original GenSwap, this one and this one. You know what? I'm going to use this one. All right. So now that I have it set, I can just come in here. And I will admit, my good buddy, Jacob, I called him up and asked him if he could create some real quick presets for me, and he did. And then I collaborated with him on that. So there were some of the Dark Adventure presets he made for me, and I included it. Let's see, with mine. There we go. But in this case here, I did revert to original. There we go. The first thing I did do is that sky. We definitely have to replace the sky. And if I'm not mistaken, I used, let's see, I know it was a dramatic sky. It was either one of these. Let's see. Yeah, we'll use this one. All right, so I did use the dramatic sky here. Now, in order for me to apply that preset, I would have to export it, then apply the preset. Otherwise, it'll erase it. And when I do that, this will be the final outcome. All right? So there we have it. And again, I didn't want to go out and just say, oh, look how easy it is. Just click 1, click 2, click 3, and it's done. Because that's not how it's going to work in the real world. And not just with our AI technology, with almost any AI technology, it's a learning curve. All right, but that generative swap, combining that with our generative erase and our regular erase is going to be another topic. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I did. Here, let me get this for you real quick. Because originally, this was going to be this was going to be my original topic right here. I was going to show you how to, let me get to the original. Yeah, here we are. I was going to show you how to get rid of these two photo bombers. But what I wanted to do in doing that was not just, show you how to do generative erase, but what I wanted to do was show you how I put it all together. Like, for example, in this case here, what you don't see is I already applied, let's get to it here. Yep, I already applied the erase to this. So I already erased, we'll get right down to the bottom. I already erased some of the areas on this using our normal, awesome erase tool. That's what I used for part 1. Then in part 2, I have to decide the order of operation. Well, I want to use GenErase on this puffin to the left, who's the photobomber, get rid of him. Then come back and use GenSwap rather, then use GenErase on this one here. Well, why not use GenSwap? Well, I don't want to swap this baby puffin with something else. I want the feathers of the puffin behind them. I want the grass right in here. So in this case, that's when you would use GenErase. And then the final one would be to put it all together. And I would actually swap tall beach grass all the way through. But do you see what's happening now, which is really cool, is our engineers gave us the ability to start really being creative. We could just do a real simple, select it, GenSwap, done. Or take it another step further, like I just showed you here, to where we can actually do several different versions of, or using several different features of our tools to combine it into one process. All right, so a quick recap one more time. Let me get back to here. GenSwap, we already know what it's going to be doing for us. Here are the quick rules. Make a larger area than you need to give more AI content to work with. Make sure you also select any of the shadows, and then the results will look seamless. And then we talked about avoid using verbs like change, erase, remove, or add. If you do, you'll get that ugly looking text in the middle. And then describe what you want in detail. Use nouns or adjective plus a noun in the prompts. All right. So guys, I hope that helps. And again, today's the first day that we're allowed to talk about this, and I'm really excited. Do me a favor, check it out. Now, by the way, let me pull this up for you right here. I do want to give a shout out to Clever Photographer. This is my buddy Jacob. He's the one who did a killer job, especially on such short notice. I asked him if he could quickly create a preset for me, and he did. And then I used that to kind of collaborate. So let me get to where it is. Here it is. So here's his website. Once again, there's the link to it, QR code, and then he has an ungodly amount of presets, courses, and everything else. All right. So that was that one. The other option you could do is, here we go. Let me get you to the Skylum website. Here we go. And right from here, click on your marketplace. And then here, you can find all these different assets that you can also use here. All right. So once again, skylum.com, just click on marketplace. And if you ever get to the point to where you're losing that creativity, check stuff like that out. All right. Now, for those of you who are watching on YouTube or you're watching this on a rebroadcast, if you want to join us live, here's the link to the coffee break, the Zoom session, because the people that are here now, there's a little over 100 of them. We're going to have a stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment where they can ask me any questions pertaining to photography, tech support, the tutorial that we just did, or get insider information on stuff that's happening in our industry. That's happening Monday, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. You're welcome to join us there. So if you're here, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. For everyone else, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.